As a pianist, artist, teacher, and arts-based educational researcher, I practice writing heartful narratives with music, poetry, and moving imageries. Using the word heart as a metaphor, I'm interested in exploring the heart of teaching and learning, the art of creating textual, musical, and visual narratives, and pedagogy of listening, how students and myself can learn to better hear and listen to our own creative self and self in relation with others to reimagine and transform our praxis. Inspired by the spirit of autoethnography as living inquiry, I'm searching and researching for creative reflexive practices that invite conversations and possibilities of the arts and artful ways of centering the lived experiences in and through education. As a way of bringing more heartfulness, creativity, and presentness in teaching, learning, and research, I create heartful narratives about my creative practices of being and becoming. Autoethnography with A for artist, R for researcher, and T for teacher is a form of living inquiry that combines life writing with life creating artful practices. For me, poetry, music, and photo videography invite new possibilities for life writing and life creating experiences. By sharing my lived experience through writing multimodal narratives about my teaching praxis, I hope to invite further conversations about the capacity of heartful writing as a pedagogical approach to our more creative, reflexive teaching and learning experiences with and for students. In the graduate education courses that I teach, I discuss diverse approaches to exploring creativity in teaching, learning, writing, and research. Students are encouraged to discover and rediscover their own creative practices in their daily lives as a way to develop meaningful, transformational educative experience within their own professional contexts. We learn to define art and creativity in diverse ways, to find what it means to engage in artful and creative practice in our own unique ways. To support students in diving deeper into the various meanings and ways of engaging with creativity and reflexivity, I share my own artistic works as a co-participant, co-creator, and co-inquirer to learn alongside them through our shared journeys. In creating and sharing my creative works, I embrace teaching as a reciprocal, collaborative learning process. My poems, photos, videos, and piano playing become invitations for students to engage in deep study of their own evolving praxis. Focusing on what brings us more creativity and meanings in our lives, capturing and sharing lifeful moments and narratives with one another, has been very helpful for us to create collaborative space and time to practice recognizing and gaining a deeper understanding of our essential selves in relation with others. For me, writing self through the arts is an ever-present, continuous process of discovery and rediscovery. The creative process of writing and rewriting, with improvising my own melodies, fragments of poetry, and moving lights, inspire me to critically reflect and re-examine the inner landscapes of my being. It draws me to the Jeeyeon philosophy of teaching as ever-present process. It inspires me to listen for Ted Tieoki's presence of the beingness of teaching. I hear echoes of Maxine Greene as I continue to turn and return to who I am, who I have yet to be. Palmer spoke about teaching coming from an undivided self, and that teaching cannot be separated from who I am. And who I am as a pianist, artist, teacher, and researcher deeply informs and shapes how I connect and offer support for students in their own lifeful inquiries. In traveling alongside each other's life worlds, I commit to the ever-present ways of being and becoming with students. For those reasons, I think of teaching and learning as continuous search and research for our shared curiosities, interests, and emerging ways of rediscovering who we are, who we have yet to be. Green advocated that teachers and students need to be enabled to pose questions relevant to their life plans and their beings in the world. To encourage further dialogues, I create heartful narratives as creative practice to sharing my own stories of learning as a pedagogical exploration for students to consider sharing their own life worlds that are meaningful within their lives. For me, I draw inspirations from the arts to search for the quiet moments of creativity and the ways it inspires my teaching praxis. Writing poems to reflect on my experiences, filming videos to pause and listen to the inner voices and the beauties of the natural landscapes around me. Playing piano, improvising my own fleeting melodies and harmonies, and writing my textual, visual, and musical narratives through the arts. These practices encourage self-reflexive practices that help me to rediscover new inspirations as I continue to search for what brings meaningful teaching and learning experiences. I embrace writing with music, words, and lights as a way of coming into knowing. In sharing fragments of my everydayness as a pianist, teacher, researcher with students, my hope is to encourage, invite, and support their own learning journeys, their own rediscovery of pedagogical ways of churning and returning to their own heartful selves, to discover and rediscover the creative and artist self within us, to continue exploring living practices that resonate with our hearts, to examine and develop our teaching, learning, and research practices. I continue to ask myself and of my students, what does it mean to be and become a heartful educator? What kind of everyday practices bring happiness and creativity in your life? In what ways might heartful writing resonate with your own self-narrative practices? How might heartful approaches to teaching, learning, and research support the development of your praxis? What are your unique ways of churning and returning to your creative artist self as a pedagogical way of creating more meaningful teaching and learning experiences? With these questions in mind, I look forward to discussing various creative ways of writing and the capacity of practicing heartful narratives as a creative approach to teaching and learning with everyone in the upcoming 2026 International Symposium on Autoethnography and Narrative.